Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tito'clock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
Sam!
Papi, wow!
Rewind. Medyo, we gotta do this again. There were children in the room. My gosh. Pops, how are you?
Si Erica ba may kasalanan nito? Miss Erica, I requested for Jai-Ho. Saan yung production natin, ha?
Jai-Ho. I know, medyo may
Jai-Ho
budget.
na-request ko.
Walang
Yun yung
budget.
na-request kong dance number, eh.
Sorry po, walang budget, Sam. I know, we used it up with Stephen Fan. Sorry. Sponsor yan. So,
Oh, gosh.
Sam, we've been wanting to have you on the show for like a long time. Even before the show was born, I was already asking you to come on the show. Remember that?
That is correct. And first and foremost, congratulations. You know, the studio setup, everything's looking good. I see your posts on Instagram, whenever you do your little teasers about the show. Fantastic. Awesome guest. You had Lea Salonga at one point.
Yeah, she was cool.
Amazing episode. So congratulations on Tito'clock.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. It means a lot coming from you because you come from this career. This is your lifeblood. You've made such a huge name for yourself. And I remember because we started out kind of at the same time, diba?
To be exact, I was in third year college. That was the year 2004. We're live right now, right? People can actually see us live, right?
We're totally live, man.
Okay, so to everybody asking, James even texting me, Pare, are there topics we can't talk about? Sabi ko, are you serious? You know the show I do, Boys Night Out? Shit, everything goes haywire every night, man. I don't know if there's something I haven't even talked about.
Pops, it's just you're a big star now, eh? It's you got sponsors, you got an image and all that. But I admire how you're able to keep that voice. That's also very impressive. How do you manage to keep that voice and still have these big sponsors? Your sponsors are blue chip companies. You got the San Miguel's, you do the Food Street, you do a whole bunch of these big brands. How did you maintain that voice and not lose it?
I think, one thing that would separate what I do from, or let's say what I do from normal or other celebrities is that I try to be as real and as me as possible. Alam ko naman, I'm not, a matinee idol. You won't see me acting in some movie or whatnot. And I think that's what at one point kind of clicked. That raw factor, the just being yourself, saying what you want to say, being vocal about things. Sometimes it's not exactly the best thing to say, but somebody has to say it. Pretty much, same with you, Of course, there are times where people will shoot us down for our opinions, but the mere fact that you have the balls or you have the guts to actually say what needs to be said, to voice out what needs to be voiced out, whether it comes to, our show covers so much from religion, politics, traffic, everything in between. And I think it's that day, there's some sort of realness that I tried that I really kept and I still keep to this day. Now, this is me, I'm not trying to be a pretty boy na okay, puro alam mo ito yung looks natin pero iba naman yung personal life. So what you see is what you get. I think if I'm gonna put it in a nutshell, what you see is what you get, which I think you've also been kind of doing and successful with, just voicing out what you have to say. And I think, especially in this day and age, might have been different before. In this day and age, I think people appreciate that. We live in a time where people are starting to appreciate realness. Not just the pretty boy, not just the magandang face, but are you even a real person? Or do I just see you on TV and you're somebody I can't even reach? You're somebody I can't even really talk to in real life? I think everybody I don't know if, I'm sure social media had something to do with it. I'm sure the whole environment, the world that we're living in has to do something with it. But I think people are looking for that sense of realness at this point when it comes to people. Probably even just the rise. Maybe we could tackle that later on of quote unquote influencers. Some people like the term, some people hate the term, some people don't know what to do about it.
What do you feel about the term? I'm sure it's used. I'm sure you have that tag sometimes. How do you feel?
Sometimes, yeah.
What do you feel?
Honestly, I feel it's a big word, which totoo naman, let's go back to Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. You have a great reach. At some point, you have a certain responsibility to the people who follow you, people who listen to you, diba? And I think being an influencer kasi is more of number one, I think anybody can be an influencer. It depends on gaano ka broad yung market na influence mo. Diba? And let's say what's your craft, what's your what are you good at, diba? So in that respect, I find it a big word. For me, it's a bit. If ever somebody would use that for me, I feel it's an honor that somebody would be able to say that I would be able to influence them either to buy a product, to believe in a certain thought, in a certain idea, to do something, to listen to something. So it's a big title, but also it comes with a great responsibility.
Okay, we have a ton of questions. I don't want to lose those questions. Okay, X. So keep them there because they're good questions. I just wanted to finish off that thought because what Sam said is very important. Anyone can be an influencer because there's this misconception that you need to have 100,000 following, 200,000 following. You'll be surprised. And tell me if you've had experience with this before. Have you noticed some brands are tending to go to the micro influencers now? Have you noticed this trend? Yeah, but they're not going
you brought up.
Yes, it's a new space, man.
Not another term. Diba?
It's a new space. You can have 5,000 followers, and they see a value to you because you are. Sometimes, if you get 1 million following, 2 million, they don't know exactly of that million who's buying their product. But if you're 5,000, and you are just good influence in your circle, and you have a defined niche, there's a market for you. So, everyone, listen up. You were gonna say, sir.
Let's talk about that for a second. Very interesting fact you brought up there. I'll give some certain names to be specific about it, certain examples here. Let's talk photography for a while. Diba? Okay, anybody can get like a super big artista, diba? A Sharon Cuneta, or whatever, to hold a certain camera. Natin, diba? Naghawak ng camera na ganito. Oh, well and good. Yung mga, you post about it, so you'll probably get 2 million likes, 1 million likes from fans who are maybe not exactly fans of photography, but fans of the person. Diba? Yes, she creates an influence. She's an influencer because she puts her name alongside the brand. Therefore, she's kind of saying, I am vouching for this camera brand. And then you have the total other side of the spectrum of people who really love photography. We're talking about, diba? Ito talaga yung passion nila eh.
RD.
And then you have, like I said, RD Lopez. Diba? Let's talk about the likes of Xander Angeles. We have the Pat D's. Diba? Mm-hmm. We're not talking about, 1 million followers. Probably we're talking about point something of a million. But the people who follow them because of the craft, because of what they do, because of photography itself. Therefore, putting a brand alongside a photographer, like you said, if you want to term it as quote unquote micro influencers, might not have that big of a following, but you're actually hitting the market you want to hit as a camera brand.
True. And this is good advice, guys. Listen up, because Poppy Sam over here is giving solid advice, because a lot of people really think that's a barrier to becoming some kind of. I'm not comfortable with the word, by the way, influencer. Not because there's anything wrong with the space.
Oh,
There's this. It's a connotation. It's nothing deep, No, there's nothing deep. It's a
May
recognizing
konting yabang. May konting yabang eh. Parang di ba cringe eh. May cringe yabang na hindi maintindihan eh.
they cringe and I cringe because it feels like you're treating people who follow like sheep. And that's the part that I get very uncomfortable with. It doesn't sit well with me because it's like influencer shows I wish there was another word, but yeah, at the moment that's what's being thrown around.
Diba? I mean, there are a lot of terms they use. Of course, in the agency terms, marketing terms, the key online leaders. Kasi parang nawala yung term na ano eh, na endorser. Remember, that was the big term before. Endorser ng ano yan.
Yeah.
Yun yung nawala eh. Ngayon,
ambassador.
Yun, naging ambassador.
Ambassador was a softer one, diba? It's not like medyo, it was like, we want you to be our endorser, but we can't afford you. So, can you be our ambassador?
Oo, so parang nagkaroon ng
price.
Pero, diba, as a person, pero hindi mo pa rin pwede mentionin yung kabilang camera brand kasi ambassador ka eh.
Oo. So what's the difference? Yung spelling.
Diba?
Oh, yung spelling different.
And now, yun nga, I'm going back to what I said earlier. Anybody can be an influencer. Let's cross out the whole marketing side of it. Let's cross out products, but everybody who I consider Sama different, but I find him as a role model. He is a household name, but he never changed his style, his attitude. Still a humble guy. Thank you so much, James.
Okay.
Yun nga sinasabi ko eh, but an influencer. Let's break down the word influence. Kaya may cringe sa atin eh, di ba? Kaya may cringe kasi para masabing influencer yan. Ibig sabihin, if you break down the word, you're influencing someone. You have an effect on somebody's life. You have a power. You have the power to make somebody believe in something. Technically, yun eh. Diba? Kaya minsan, when sinasabi mo, influencer yan, you feel uncomfortable about it. Kasi parang, teka, hindi naman na, but I guess that's the widely, accepted term. Now, like I said, anybody can be an influencer, products aside, but about what you believe in, what you stand, especially these days, so much going on in the world aside from COVID, from everything that's happened in the States, in Hong Kong, in the Philippines. And I think, ito na nga yung yun nangyayari. I was actually discussing this with my girlfriend Esther just earlier kanina, na even influencers now are expected na may masabi about a certain issue. Pag wala naman silang sinabi or they say something wrong, everybody will bash them.
Yun.
I'm not gonna be diba, this happened, I was with I'm sure our good friends from Ford, si Papi Herbert Aber.
Of course.
Yeah, I was chatting with him a few days ago about what happened to David Gizon.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you heard what happened.
I'm a little sa balita, sorry. Explain it.
Kahapon lang yata to, or the other day, so hindi ka pa naman masyadong huli.
Thank you.
So anyway, I think Blackout Tuesday, which was everybody was posting the black screen on their phone, diba? Okay, go through Instagram the whole day practically. Last Tuesday, puro tayo black screen, Blackout Tuesday. Apparently, he posted Blackout Tuesday, and then sa caption, sundan niya ng, oh, by the way, also, anti-terrorism bill. And people started bashing him so much. Okay. It was such for me, such an interesting case in point. Because what does he really influence for? He's called an influencer for fashion. Diba? But yun nga now, he says something na medyo political, medyo along these fine lines and issues. Siguro mali na sabi, everybody's bashing him for it. So it's, we're treading a very thin line sometimes.
It's a good example that you bring up because I get that sometimes, quite a lot actually. I deal with motoring, I deal with transport, and it's fine, right? It seems like, you're right. I can push, I can do whatever. Then you step outside the space and you make a comment about something like anything outside of motoring, and they're like, "Hey,
Ayan na.
And guys, I'm not saying it because it's me. It's not a personal thing. It reflects very poorly on the person who says that. And I'll explain why. When you tell a person, "Oi, Tito James, stick to motoring," it's like telling a woman, "Oi, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, get back in there." It's the same thing. It's stereotyping the person. These people are taxpayers. These people have brains. These people are contributors to society. If they do fashion, they want to talk a little bit about politics, they're allowed. They also pay their taxes. So please, it's a respect for everyone's opinion. Now, this is where it gets tricky because people think that their opinion must be accepted. It doesn't have to be accepted. And they have to there can be a counterpoint. But this is where it gets blurry because then the name calling and all that. So it's counterproductive. Do you ever get to the stage, Pops, where you're like, I don't want to talk about it anymore? I feel it, but it's just not worth the backlash. You ever hold out?
Yeah.
Like when? Where are your no-go zones?
A lot of the political topics I try to stay away from on social media specifically. I talk about them on radio. No, I can say what I have to because I have my Tony and Sig. They can shoot me down or whatever. What's annoying sometimes is you give your opinion and people could probably not have the same views, pero ang titirahin sa'yo yung personal life mo, hindi naman yung opinion mo eh. So the debate becomes something personal versus something that's you're talking about. So it's also a bit unfair. Social media can be very harsh. It can be very nakakakilig. I think that's why we have all the bikini pics. Ayan, sige, mag-post ka ng wet picture na may sand pero Bible verse, Matthew verse 4. This is the day the Lord has made. Oh. Wala kinalaman sa picture, Pops. Wala. My God. Nothing connected to the picture. The Bible verse, the poet, what? Tell me what is the connection. Nothing. But hey, 4,000 likes. Oh. And of course, as a person, may konting kilig. Aminin natin. Oy, wow, okay, teka. People kind of like, this style of posting. Diba? And now, you see a few other people do it, and now it becomes a trend. Everybody starts posting, all these pictures na ganito, na ganyan, because they all want that likes. It's that rush na parang yung endorphins, diba? Oh, yun, dopamine mo, okay. And ngayon, you post another picture, you don't get as many likes, ano nangyayari? People start feeling down. So, diba, it's like I said, social media can get very tricky. Instead of having a intelligent conversation, minsan it becomes about what people want to hear, about what people want to see. So for me, I don't mind. Battling it out. If we have a conversation that of opinions don't agree upon, okay lang, I'll battle it out with you. Pero let's talk properly. Usap tayo na maayos.
Do you see it ever getting better, Sam, or do you think that humanity is just something that's not bagay with humanity? Too much power afforded to too many.
Let me rewind a bit. Since we both came from broadcasting backgrounds, diba? If you think about it, to be a broadcaster in the Philippines and maybe all over the world, there is what we call a broadcast license. Issued by the KBP, at least in the Philippines, diba? And that license is given to you because you passed the test. You have to go through certain standards to get that broadcaster's license. Fair enough. Now, you have the power of speaking to a mic, and that mic reaches thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But let's admit it, times have changed. Wala nang broadcaster's license. Hindi na kailangan. Anybody can have a show. Anybody on Twitter can say what they want to say. Diba? Now, ang nawawala is the responsibility. That's what I'm afraid of. Yung responsibility nawawala. I'm not saying everybody should have a license. Okay, by all means, of course, everybody can say what they want to say. But yung responsibility ang nawawala. That's what I'm afraid of, if anything.
Accountability as well. Responsibility and accountability. Definitely two things. I love where you're going with this, but wow, every day, Pops, every time we talk to somebody, we always end up on this topic for some reason. It must be something so personal for so many people because I think, we felt like, I guess, our play space, our safe space, our happy place got overtaken by trolls, by nastiness, by all that. This is still not the majority. I want everyone to understand this. Put this in your head. This is not the majority of people, okay? It is a minority. And this is worldwide. This is global. It doesn't matter. Social media, it doesn't matter. Even if you look at the States, right? The way they're rioting there, the people who are breaking the glass and all that, very small amount. And they're actually not part of the protesters that are, no, but they will drive the conversation because we are wired as humans for bad news. We can't get enough of it. That dopamine rush that you were talking about, this is started with the news, and then it gets into social media. You create your own news. You have this hyper loop that you get into, and you never get back outside of that feedback loop. You just stay in there. It's like a hamster on a wheel. You're just wala ka nang because it'll never end. It will never end because when the buying stops, the killing stops, as they say. If you keep reading, they're just gonna keep writing garbage news. The more you consume, the more they like more of this. Let's just give them more. It's basic business, but yeah. Happy thoughts.
And for us, wala. Lahat yan. I mean, it's how the world is today. We can't stop how it's in the direction it's going to. But what we can do is control ourselves, is manage ourselves, diba? How would you manage your social media consumption? How would you manage news that you see, diba? Do you even you read something, you see something, automatic? Do you believe it, diba?
Yeah.
I think that's what we can manage. Let me bring up an example. Para mas malinaw tayo. There was this incident. I'm not sure if you caught this bit. It happened about 3 months ago, involving one of our good friends, Jason Magbanwa.
Ay, nako, yes, of course. My gosh, yes.
Pag-usapan natin yan. I mean, this is what happened. The guy's a friend or whatever, but there were issues that came out, which, okay, kaibigan ko, pero sabi ko, sige, let's see what happened. Ano nangyari? Okay, ito nangyari. For those who didn't catch that issue, some girl, pucha, rato that on Twitter. Okay, this Jason Magbano, a guy, popular, wedding photographer. Slept with me at 12 years ago, and we have a kid. Never supported the kid. Yada yada. Okay, lumabas na yung balita. Ngayon naman, everybody started jumping the gun. Not everybody. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. A lot of people started jumping the gun. Kasi ang hilig natin, tumalon sa issue eh. Mahilig tayo Uy, may issue, tara. Mahilig tayong, may sapakan. Tara, makikisapak lang ako, pero wala akong, hindi ko kilala yan pero makikisapak lang ako. Diba? Okay, anyway, fast forward, everybody started, big issue on Twitter. He was trending for I think 2 days or God knows how long. Eto na. I checked up on the guy. I asked him how he was doing. I didn't talk about the issue. I didn't even ask him, bro, what really happened? Because of course the guy is, already probably agitated or whatnot. Now, okay, after a week, asked by release a statement, and a lot of people also, talked about it. So apparently this girl, it was a bogus account. Nobody could even trace the account anymore. Nobody could even trace, if she said there was a kid involved, there was this involved, that involved, but nobody could trace any facts.
And he was sleeping down with bridesmaids and the bride.
Exactly.
Even accused him that he slept with several brides, which freaked out.
True.
Yeah, his business.
Of course.
Of course, man.
Okay, now we're gonna get to that. Isipin mo, imagine how much damage was done to the guy who built his reputation through hard work, through his craft for the past 20 years, only to be ruined by a tweet or a bogus account that, probably ruined, yun nga, nobody, first for a while, sabi la, ayoko na kasi baka, he sleeps with the bride or something, diba? So now, imagine how much damage you can cause to a person to their careers, if you just want to bring somebody down, because people love to jump on the issue. Like easily, yung Sam YG, ganyan. Ano yan? May nangyari sa amin. Gago yan, ganito. Okay. Saya, talon lahat ng tao. Oo nga, gago yan, ganyan. Okay. Something you built for so long, something you worked so hard for, down the drain. Okay, 3 weeks later, or 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, nalaman mong, okay, wala pala. Ano lang pala, bogus account. Siguro may nakaaway lang, may nagalit lang, wanted to, ruin the career or whatever. Pero the damage has been done. The damage to the person has been done. And it's so hard to retract. It's so hard na, even if wala naman talagang totoo, the damage has been done. People have already jumped the gun and already, the damage has been done. So wala na eh. Parang it's so hard to retract these things. So minsan kawawa yung tao.
And this psycho also messaged all his kids, right? Individually.
Exactly.
She would send awful things to the kids. And once again, like Sam's point, wala kang laban. Even if you prove yourself innocent like this, fabricated persona, etc., even if you just lost 2 or 3 gigs, for his level of work, that's 200, 300, 400. We don't know, right? 1,000 pesos.
More than the gigs, man. It's as I always say, your reputation takes years to build, but seconds to take away. And sometimes these are a few seconds of somebody tweeting who, like I said, baka nakagalit mo lang, may nakatras mo sa parking or whatnot, diba? Who ruins an entire thing. And people, before checking the facts, just love to jump, makisaw-saw sa issue. I'm just using that as an example, just to state my point, no?
It's a good example. It's an excellent example. It's very recent. Jason's a great guy. It's a perfect example, Sam. Don't worry. If you were, let's say, magically social media czar, all of a sudden there was this special power granted to you. They gave you a turban and they said you can now do what you want, and everyone has to follow. How would you fix that problem?
Oh man, if I just had that power, kung pwede lang, if it's not a fact, you would not be allowed to post. Parang pag umi-exit ka ng Microsoft Word, are you sure you want to leave without saving? May ganun kang prompt, diba? Bago ka umalis, diba? So, diba? There should be these things. Are you? I'm sorry, you can't post this as probably connected to Google or something. Now, these what you want to post is not, is not a fact or is made to ruin, something. Then it becomes the problem will be probably minimized, but of course it will take some crazy, I don't know, shit to do that.
Maybe we could even have like breathalyzers to check for your alcohol level before you post, diba?
Isa pa yun.
Are you sure you want to send this text at 3 a.m?
Right. Naku!
Diba? Breathe into this. Ayun, it saved you.
Are you sure you wanna send where are you now at 3 a.m? At sigurado ka ba sa kanya mo isisend yan?
Yan. Pops, let's talk naman about relationships. We're humans, right? So we're creatures of habit. What's a common trait shared by everyone you've dated? And you can't say that they're just girls. That's not a trait. That's a...
Oh, hindi. May nakalusot na isa eh. Hindi, joke lang.
You heard it first.
Kala ko, chicks, yung pala may eggs between the legs. Oh. I think one trait would be understanding. Just because I have to relate this to my job, on radio and Boys Night Out. For the past 15 years, we talk about so much shit every day, to the point na, you know what? There are things you'd have to say that are very harsh, very, very, opinionated. Now the person really has to understand, and and accept that, oh, it's a show, and these things, kundi, wala na namang, it will be boring, to listen to just a normal guy talk about, oh, you know how my day was? I was stuck on EDSA in traffic. Everybody goes through that. Di ba? Paano kung yung topic biglang, naku, nalasing ako kagabi. May nangyari. Then the ball game changes. Di ba? It becomes interesting, but it has to...
Is that...
Again?
Is there part of a persona there that you need to also... I mean, like, when you date somebody, say, you have to understand that there's this expectation that I'm kind of... Do you have to play a little bit of a role as well? Because people are expecting you to be... Sam YG, medyo ladies man yan. So there's an expectation.
Yes.
Is part of it.
Yes, I have to admit, yes, there is.
That's fine, but
it is part of it. It's part of a boys' night out. It's part of it's part of the show. It's what I think. As a matter of fact, it's what makes the show the show. Is that you have three guys who are not afraid to talk about whatever that it is there is to talk about, diba? For me, that's the charm of the show, and that's why it's been lasting for 15 years, 14, 15 years.
Is that
because of that?
Is that the longest running show on FM radio of its kind? Like meaning
the longest with the same cast. We're the only show that has been running for 14 years with the same cast.
In what way are you a difficult person to live with?
Oh, ako when I don't feel like talking, I don't feel like talking.
We're the same.
Kasi I know that ako eh. Ako yung pag uminit ng ulo, I have a tendency to say things na I will regret. Kasi alam kong galit na ako.
Different from me. Go. Sorry.
So knowing that about myself, if I know I'm gonna get to that limit already, handbrake na ako. Exit na ako. I'll say, okay, we have to talk some other time before it gets to that point.
Nice. Mine naman is not. It's not a temper thing. It's more. I just need to switch off thing. I'm talking all day. I'm always on all day. I can't walk outside and just be kind of totally myself because I have to be aware that I might bump into people that I need to, So when I go home, I switch off. So that's probably.
That's true. Also, just before you ask the next question, as a matter of fact, sometimes after midnight, I go to my girlfriend's house and she would ask me, "But parang di ka nagsasalita? Why are you not talking?" And that is so true. It means like especially I guess for us being in this industry, our mind is always on. Bawal ang dead air, so to speak, di ba? So your mind's always on. You're probably talking and talking. Even before your mouth sometimes speaks, your mind is already has thoughts in it. So when you get home, tama yan, may off switch ka eh.
Yeah, because a lot of people what they don't seem to realize, and I used to use this analogy for photographers, but I think it applies very much to us now that I heard you say that. A photographer, what separates a really good photographer from an average photographer, even if they both have the know-how, is a good photographer is always in the moment because he or she is always framing. So they're walking around, wala pang their cameras just swinging on their side, but they're constantly framing things. So it's no surprise that they catch moments because they're always in that frame of mind. Versus a amateur photographer who may have the skills, but it's like something has to happen for them to go, oh, wait, let me get my camera out. So with us, the same thing. We're preparing our brains. So our brains are always there. So yun na nga, by the time the mouth opens, may naka-engage na yung gear. Hindi lang neutral and then mag-warm up and then salita. So it's very important to switch off at night. And sometimes that can be hard for our partners.
That is true. And it gets tiring. Because going back to your photographer analogy, kung sila laging parang nagpe-frame, tayo laging nag-iisip, uy, pwedeng topic yan. Uy, pwede ko gawing show yan. Uy, pwede ko gawing magandang pag-usapan yan for me. Like with Boys Night Out, nako, magandang issue yan sa Boys Night pag-usapan. Conversations with people, stuff you read, diba? Online. You're always thinking about ideas on how to grow a small idea. And it's true, it does get tiring. at times, and sometimes like on a Sunday, I'd enjoy just turning my brain off and just lying down.
We're so similar in that way because and I guess the guilt for me comes from sometimes feeling that maybe my family gets not the best of me because the best of me is given to the public. It's because that's how I'm wired. I can't really just switch off, even if I try, because that's me. And I mean, no, but it's a difficult thing to manage. Describe a moment
I
when you
agree. I agree. I totally understand what you're talking about.
get
Super.
it. It's like the same reason of, they say that the mechanic's car is usually the one that's least maintained. The plumber's home has the leaky pipes. Their business is that. So they'll prioritize their customers. The same thing with us when the entertainment. So we need understanding people that can just say, it's nothing personal, still loves me. In fact, he's actually sharing a side that he doesn't share with anyone else, which is that quiet side, etc. But we just can't be on. I just want to also like to get to understand more about like what's a moment where you felt the most fulfilled. Describe that moment.
It's actually doing what I do. That opportunity to give to put a smile on somebody's face, to make somebody happy. A lot of people don't know this. I was actually supposed to be a lawyer. That was my dream in high school.
Hey, no way, I didn't
And
know
that's
that.
why also, yes, and also college, I took legal management. So I was really supposed to go to law school and everything. Yun yung mindset. Radio was an accident, to be very honest.
Wow. How far did you get, Sam?
Oh,
How far did you get?
I graduated legal management in Ateneo. I was supposed to take 1 year off and then go to law school also after that.
I didn't know
Pero
that.
tapos na yung lahat ng all the pre-law tapos na. I was done with it already.
I had no
And
idea.
so, now you know the backstory.
Wow.
But anyway, and that is why I chose this radio career. I said, sige, gagawin ko lang siya for a year. I started enjoying it. After 3 years, I fell in love with it because of that. And it's the same reason I wake up excited going to work every day. Even, probably, doing this podcast with you or doing the show with you, going to Boys Night Out, probably hosting a corporate event, a wedding. It's that chance it's challenging, of course. It's challenging na parang, okay, ibang crowd. Ibang ano naman to, ibang style, ibang market, Of course, there's the Eat Bulaga market, ibang market din yun, di ba? Super iba rin yung audience. It's challenging, but it's very fulfilling for me. And that's why I'm excited to go to work every day.
I'm so surprised, actually. Well, not that surprised, but we're very, very, very similar pala. Except I didn't go to law. I didn't study law at all. I just that's how we differ. But it's amazing how similar we are. Are you the type of person also that, do you take it as a challenge when you're in a small group, a dinner table, or maybe, when there's that person that's just serious, that doesn't really talk or smile or anything? Do you take that as a challenge that I'm not leaving this table or night until I get a laugh out of that person?
Medyo. Although not naman super challenge na kailangan, but let's say in that table, I can give a moment of laughter. Okay na ako dun. Masaya na ako dun. But of course, extra challenging yung person na hindi, the medyo masungit or whatnot. There's that challenge there. But it is a challenge because I'm sure we were both the same in the sense na every day, every event, every every show that we do, we don't know who's listening. We don't know who's gonna be watching. So it's that challenge to really just, kahit sobrang pagod ka na, let's say, the whole day we're shooting something, diba? You haven't slept, pagod ka na. Pero hindi, once the mic is on, bam!
Wow.
Diba? You just switch into this, into this mode na hindi pwede. No bad days, no bad shows. You're only good till your last show.
True. I love it, man.
Diba?
I love it. Everyone's loving it too. Look at the comments. People are just saying they're just loving the genuine discussion. They're just loving the realness of what you're saying, because we can feel that it's real, man. People know. Do you really think that people know about when you're not authentic? You can be a really good actor, but they just know.
And with all due respect, iba yung hosting sa acting. Not to it's you can't compare apples to oranges. Eh. It's an art in itself, and I have so much respect for people. I've tried it before. It's just not my cup of tea. I've tried the whole taping ng 24 hours. Natutulog ka kung saan-saan. Pero iba sa akin yung art ng hosting eh, yung your brain's working at a millisecond, 'di ba? Hindi nag-play yung AVP. Okay, nag-host ka. Shit, James, hindi yung AVP sira. Oh, 'di ba? Sira.
Edge.
Okay. Yan ang favorite natin. Gumagano na. Alam mo na yan, 'di ba? That's when the art comes in. Eh. You can't go on the mic and tell people na, guys, sorry yung kasi, yung AVP sira, ayaw mag-play. Give us a minute, we're just gonna you can't do that. 'Di ba? And that's when the art comes in, the craftsmanship, the love for the job, the observing people. Do I interview people? Do I play a game? And all these things are running through your head without a script. Then you're trying to wonder, do I have to stretch for 5 minutes? Is it a 10-minute stretch? Do I have to keep on talking without a script for 20 minutes? How am I going to do this? And like I said, it's a whole craft. It's a whole art. We've been doing this for so long, but people always ask me, Sam, kinakabahan ka ba? Kasi parang pag nakikita ka, parang wala sa'yo. Sabi ko, hindi. Kinakabahan ako every time. That moment, bago ako makakit ng stage, di ba? Yung sabihin ng director, okay, James, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, open LED wall, labas ka. Those 3 minutes, and I whenever I give my my lectures to students and I give my talks in schools, I always tell them this, and I think you would probably agree also. Those 3 to 5 minutes are very crucial. Make or break sa yan eh. Either you're gonna get the crowd and they're gonna listen to you throughout the program, or in those 3 minutes, you're gonna lose them throughout the entire program. And don't get me wrong, it's not about raising your voice. It's not about, we all have different styles, diba? Of how we bring our energy. It's really how you manage the crowd, your style of hosting, your craft, and it's continuously evolving. I still make my mistakes. I'm not afraid to share with you, if we have time, one of the biggest mistakes I've had. Kung matatalo mo to, okay lang, pero ito medyo mabigat. Krispy Kreme was opening in the Philippines. They got me to host their first ever drive-through store in Green Hills. Not sure if you it's right there. Okay, cut the long story short, I was still starting out, kabado. Ito na. Okay, si floor director, Sam YG. Ganito mangyayari. They briefed me with what's gonna happen. At one point, Sam, the president and CEO of Krispy Kreme is in Manila. You have to introduce him. It's his first time here. He's gonna do the ribbon cutting. Ako naman, okay, not a problem. Kayang-kaya. So na. Here I am with the mic. Media, all there. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to officially welcome, I'm not afraid to share with you, if we have time, one of the biggest mistakes I've had. Kung matatalo mo to, okay lang, pero ito medyo mabigat. Krispy Kreme was opening in the Philippines. They got me to host their first ever drive-through store in Green Hills. Not sure if you it's right there. Okay, cut the long story short, I was still starting out, kabado. Ito na. Okay, si floor director, Sam YG. Ganito mangyayari. They briefed me with what's gonna happen. At one point, Sam, the president and CEO of Krispy Kreme is in Manila. You have to introduce him. It's his first time here. He's gonna do the ribbon cutting. Ako naman, okay, not a problem. Kayang-kaya. So na. Here I am with the mic. Media, all there. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to officially welcome this Krispy Kreme store and officially cut the ribbon of the first ever Krispy Kreme drive-through branch in the Philippines. Let's all give it up for Mr. Donut himself, Yada, yada, yada.
No!
Crowd goes quiet. Shit talaga. Natawag mo si Krispy Kreme na Mr. Donut. Ito pa malupit. If you're in Green Hills, you know the area, papi, yung Mr. Donut, katapat lang ng Krispy Kreme, nasa harap lang. Yan ang na-feel ko. Sabi ko, Lord, my mission on earth is done. You can take me now.
You win, Father. You win.
Isa pa. Yung craft ng comeback diba? Yung craft ng comeback is another thing diba? Alam mo may kalokohan ka na, you effed up.
Mine
pero ka-comeback ka in some way, the best way you can. Okay, number 2, kikwento ko lang na mabilis. I'll try to condense this for everyone. Eto fairly recent. Century Tuna relaunched the 3 girls, remember?
Sunshine Group.
Marina, Alice, diba?
Yeah.
Big campaign, pare. Diba? TVC, the billboard on EDSA, God knows, my goodness. Because they were launching these 3 girls. Eto na. Sam YG host. Nice. Cut the long story short, ito yung mangyayari, no? Mag-open ng program, Tony and Slick, welcome the media to the launch of the endorsement, the product, whatever. And then, direct, sabi ni Direct, okay, Tony and Slick, ibato nyo kay Sam YG. Sam YG will be there with the girls. He will be the one to introduce the girls one by one. Because they are in the 4th floor. Bakit sila nasa 4th floor? Kasi, the 3 girls were on stationary bikes. Yung indoor cycling. 3 sila. Nandyan. So, anyway, eto na. Ang style kasi, pagka-introduce sa akin, Sam YG, eto na, I'll introduce them one by one. Eto na sila, Paps. Ano yung yoga pants. Tapos yung sports bra lang. Okay, so ang cue, when I start talking, they start cycling in front of me, the 3 of them. Eto na. So anyway, Tony Slick, welcome to the launch of Century Tuna, ganyan. Sam YG is now with the 3 girls. Sam YG, are you there? Sabi ko, yes, Tony and Slick. Oh my God. Eto, nag-start mag-cycling yung 3 girls sa harap ko. Nakatingin sa akin. Sabi ko, Tony and Slick, oh my God, I am so lucky right now. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm not going to delay this program any further. First and foremost, she has 2 kids. But OMG, she is smoking hot, bro. She's right in front of me in just a sports bra and doing some indoor cycling. Please welcome the one and only, tinasa ko yung energy, Pops, the one and only Sunshine Dizon! Yung mukha ni Sunshine Cruz nakatingin sa akin ng ganun. Nag-pray ako. Alam mo yung ginabar ka? In 5 seconds, nabasa lahat.
I'm just stretching the awkwardness. I'm just stretching out the awkwardness by not reacting. So, I'm cringing for you.
Yun yung 2 favorite ko.
Oh, man. My stomach hurts. My stomach is literally from the knots of twisting. I'm cringing.
You feel it?
Totally feel it because I've got this. Obviously as a host, I've got these fears, but I don't want to let you go without asking 2 things. One, Aaron X is asking, how did you get the name YG? I know Gogna obviously has something to do with it, but why YG? Where did the YG come from?
I'll cut the long story short, no. My real name is Samir Varma with a V, Varma Gogna. I'm pure Indian, no?
Yeah.
For those who are wondering. When I started on radio, that was throwing it back to I was 19 years old, 3rd year college. They were trying to think of a radio name for me. Alam mo yung mga cool radio names at that time, di ba? Mga kung ano-ano. So, yeah, mga ganon. Yeah, exactly. He was one of my mentors, actually. Yeah. Jeremiah Jr. was one of my mentors. So anyway, they had a bond paper outside the door of the radio station where people could suggest, names for me. But in the meantime, they used to call me Sam the young guy because I was the youngest at the
Ah,
radio station. I was only 19.
there you go.
Oh, wala siyang connection sa pangalan ko. Nagkataon lang, my last name is also Gogna. Pero, yung G nun, walang connection actually, the young guy is the YG. It doesn't stand for actually my last name.
That's so cool. I assume Gogna as well. I really did. Just all these years. Wala lang. And lastly, what's the dream, man? What's the dream? You still have a dream left?
The dream. Oh, of course. I've done most of the things I've ever wanted to do as a host in my career. And the dream probably is to, I don't know, man. That's a good question because probably do more international shows. I've done a few before. The dream is actually an international game show. Boom, ayan.
Ayun. That's good advice, man. Well, if you're only as good as your last show, you're pretty damn good today, Sam YG. People love you.
Well, thank you for having me, man. Salamat.
Thanks for keeping it real, Sam. You know what? It's a pleasure. I know that I've known you for a long time, but I had high expectations for the show, and you exceeded them. So thank you for that, and thank you for all you do. You keep us smiling, you keep us happy.
James, thank you.
We need more people like you, man. All right. Salute, sir.
Salamat.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk